Right, we're talking Manchester City. Of course, we're talking Manchester City because they've become just the 5th team to win the Premier League title. I'm glad that Manchester City won it because I did want the expansive teams winning these titles to be broadened from just Manchester United and other. It was Manchester United and Arsenal in the early days of the Premiership. Then it's Manchester and Chelsea. Blackburn, of course, came in 95 and did it. We're going to get up to the Skype wall now and talk to a young Manchester City fan called Jimmy, who's with us now. Jimmy, good evening to you. Hiya, Jimmy.
Hello, Michael.
Yeah, Jimmy, how are you?
I've had worse days.
I know you've had worse days, mate, and it's a daft question to ask how you are. It's just a degree of how good you are. But, Jimmy, listen, before we get into the euphoria, which you're clearly enjoying and have been for the last sort of 24 hours, tell us about the story about the fans who couldn't take the stress and the strain and actually tried to desert the stadium at the end.
Yeah, I've seen it before, Mike. It was exactly the same when we played Gillingham at Wembley.
Oh, I remember. Joe Royle.
Yeah, this fella, though, yesterday, he sat next to me all year, and every year, 5 minutes to go, he's got to go up so he can get out of the car. I mean, I'll be honest, the car park at City's a nightmare. Right. So it's a good thing to get out of it. But yesterday he gets up and I said, "You're having a laugh, you're not going today." And he said, "Well, I've got..." I says, "No." I says, "You're not going." And we nearly come to blows. Right. In the end, I lets him pass. 5 minutes later, he tries to come back. Yeah. I said, "It ain't happening, mate. You're not coming back in." I won't say on the air what I did say to him, but yeah, words as going the other direction. Yeah, sure. Another 2 minutes goes by, he comes back with a steward, and the steward tells me if I don't let him sit in his seat, he's going to chuck me out. Oh, dear. Ridiculous. Yeah, and with the goals rattling in at this stage. Oh, well, obviously, our second one had gone in at that stage. That's when he wanted to come back. Yeah. He'd seen it on the screen. As you come out of where the seats are, you go up the steps and go in. There's screens everywhere. So he'd seen it on the screen. Yeah. And obviously that's when he wanted to come back. Yeah. Did you at any stage yourself, Jimmy, think it was all over? Was the dream evaporating in front of you? I thought, I can't go on Facebook for a month. Yeah. I thought, internet accounts are closed down. I'd give it out last week, big style, and I thought I just can't take it coming back. But fortunately, I got away with it.
So what's the transformation then? When Aguero scores that winning goal, and I saw the bedlam around me, people who were looking daggers at me suddenly wanted to hug me, which is not usual, obviously. Yeah, sure. I mean, how can you explain still what went through you at that? Because that moment you knew it was all over. You'd won the league. That was, people talk about sex. That was the best I've ever had in my life. Never mind sex, that was unbelievable. Yeah. The joy, the actual joy. It's a wonder you didn't hear me scream down there, Mike. The noise was coming out. I mean, I didn't know I could scream that loud. Yeah. I'm on the front row of the first tier. I felt like jumping off. Right. But obviously, I'm glad you didn't. You'd have caused a lot of damage below you. I thought I was going to come out and see a row of ambulances outside. Yeah. I thought there'd be 50,000 coronaries. It was that sort of moment. Yeah. The cardiac unit was on standby, wasn't it? Yeah. Jimmy, I was just going to say, the bloke behind you hanging on the wall, how much did he help you win this year? Oh, well, I wondered whether there was a God, but after yesterday, there is a God. Divine intervention. He wears blue pyjamas, that's all I'll say. Yeah, he must do. Jimmy, Martin Lipton's in the studio with me tonight. He's already said, actually, you were so much the better team in the Premiership, you should have won it by 10 points, not gone down to the wire on the last minute of the last day. Well, mate, it's typical City. You've been a City fan all my life. You know what it's like, don't you? If Yaya Toure hadn't gone to the African nations, I think we would have won it by 10 points. Yeah. And let's be honest, we didn't win it yesterday, mate. What's really satisfying is we won it by scoring 6 goals at Old Trafford, and I was there that day. Right. Yeah. And for the first 3 games of this season, when you were rattling them in as well. Oh yeah, but Mike, what I'm saying is 6 goals at Old Trafford. Yeah. Goal difference. That's 10 points. That's 10 goals. Jim, the big thing I find hard to comprehend is Man City have been absolutely out of this world this year. Played the best football, scored the most goals. Okay, Man United have been awful, and yet you've only won it on goal difference. How's that golf? It hurts me to say it, but Ferguson, he's a man, isn't he? He's the man. It hurts me to say it as a City fan. But what that fella's done in this game is unbelievable. I mean, I'll be honest, I was quite enjoyed he was humble last night. He called us his neighbours. Yeah.
Set of noisy neighbours. You're absolutely right.
Exactly.
How much, Jimmy, have you got to do over the summer now? Because one of the issues we've already identified in the show is the lack of cover at the back. When you've got, there's another African nations coming up as well, isn't there, this coming season?
Yeah, but they didn't lose a game. This is another thing I hear. Oh, Yaya went to the African nations. They didn't lose a game without Yaya.
No, I know.
But what they missed is his drive and organisation.
Yeah, exactly.
And when he's in the side, and I stood up last year, I'm giving myself a pat on the back here, everyone was going silver mad.
Yeah.
But what they forgot is the actual engine room and the supply line to get the ball to Silva in dangerous areas.
Yeah.
And Silva's a fantastic player.
Yeah.
But Yaya is so important.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest, go back 12 months, everyone thought De Jong was the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Give Mancini his job this year. He's hardly played De Jong. He's only played him when he's wanted to put Yaya forward.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that the early exit from the Champions League helped you there, Jimmy?
I wish we were still in it, Mike.
That's going to be your ambition next year now, isn't it? Now you're really going to start getting ambitious.
Absolutely, we had 6-1 about City this year for the league. We'll get a bit of 8 or 10-1 next year for Champions League, and we'll be having a bit on.
So again, why did they not go further in the Europa League?
Probably because they didn't want to. Well, I wouldn't have bothered with the Europa League.
I think he did want to. I don't think he played his best team in the Europa League.
I agree.
We've got a very good squad. Let's be honest. But people like Hargreaves were getting a game in that. And
I think also he thought they were going to go through. They got the 1-0 defeat away, and he thought, we'll cruise it at home.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're 2 down before this, and then they absolutely batter them, don't they?
Yeah.
And Hart nearly wins it with the header in the last corner. So
exactly.
I actually think the only reason we didn't get through the Champions League, and this was against Mancini, was the first match of the year against Napoli. He was Mancini from last year.
Yeah.
He wasn't the Mancini that had sent 4 attackers on at Tottenham.
Stay ahead of the game with Sports Tonight Live. Don't miss a thing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search for Sports Tonight Live on Facebook and like our fan page. Follow Sports Tonight TV on Twitter and tweet us your thoughts and opinions. Sports Tonight Live, it's the platform for the fans.